Picture breakdown.
So we're learning the Nishmas Yosef ben Moshe Alevi Rosenberg, the men who brought shatnez to America, really made a tremendous chusim. I remember they took us to the shatnez lab. I thought it was a laboratory. It was like a one room with a bunch of coats, like it smelled and this. And it was like the matzah bakery. You thought it was like something matzah factory, right? It was, and we all went there, but the Maisa, the man has chusim ad ma'od, but he said he gave over his whole life. He left it Sava, that it be considered a big thing for people to learn from him because he spent his whole life in shatnez. So we're learning Lila Mishlas Yosef Moshe Alevi Rosenberg. Okay, we're in the sugi of Yadais, right? Yad. We saw again, just to reiterate that in order to have a Yad, you have to have a limit for it. So the source for Yadais was Naziris. He said we actually had two dresses. If the Torah speaks Lashon B'nei Adam, right, then the source is Naziris. Nazir Lahazer, extra word, and then we make a hekesh from Nazir Lahazer to Nedarim. If Lo Yidibru Torah B'nei Adam, then Linda Neder, and then there was another one, Meisis Sechet Tishmar. So we had those are three sources for Yadais. That was by Nedarim. The Gemara then we saw there's such a thing as Yadais by Gittin. We saw by Gittin this Yadais Machlokes between Rabbi Yehuda and the Chachamim. Chachamim Hariyat Mutar Schol Adam. Chachamim like Rabbi Yehuda had ears Lechim Minoi Sefer Techrichin the Gerish Shvukin. He had ears because again so Yudai Mechichas, but there's a yad, right? Then we got the shaila, very interesting shaila we had is Yesh Yad LeKedushin or not? Yesh Yad LeKedushin, and then we doesn't seem we're Paisha the shaila. According to Shmuel, yes, Yesh Yad LeKedushin, based upon the Gemara in Kedushin Daf Hey that we saw, and we then he said Yesh Yad LePeya. What's the shaila in Yesh Yad LePeya? The shaila is the pasuk. Okay, the pasuk says the following in Parshas Kiseitze in Perek Chav Gimel. In Perek Chav Gimel in Parshas Kiseitze, we have the following pasuk, and this is the source, and this is speaking by Nidrei Hegdish. This is speaking by what about by Nidrei Hegdish. It's speaking by Nedarim of Hegdish, and it says the following: You see the neder l'Hashem Elokecha. When you make a neder to bring a carbon, lo'isach l'shalma, you shouldn't be delayed in bringing it. Ki darshu Hashem Elokecha me'imach, and we said imach is the leket shechur peya. So therefore, we have a hekesh now, a relationship between leket shechur peya and karbanos. You see the neder is speaking about karbanos. So what was the Gemara shaila? Is the hekesh totally? Is the hekesh a total hekesh? Meaning, just like we'll learn the Inyan Bal Ta'acher, we'll learn the Inyan Yad. Just like by Korban, this is in Bal Ta'acher, who are din by Peya, this is in Bal Ta'acher. And just like this is din of Yad by Korban, there's a din of Yad by Peya. Or no? Do we say that? No, it's only Inyan Bal Ta'acher. Your last kvel is Ein Hekesh Lemechza, right? It's the Ran's question. Ein Hekesh Lemechza. In other words, you don't make a halfway Hekesh. Once you have a Hekesh comparison in the pasuk, you go all the way. Because that's when it's often in the pasuk. That's when it's open in the pasuk. But in this situation, meimach, it's a leket shikul peya. Certainly, it's a drasha. Where do you see the word meimach? That it means leket shikul peya. So when it's a drasha, you don't say ein hechesh l'metzah. So that's where we're holding. Now we're going to see a few more cases of it, and then we're going to get into Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva's din of the lashon of menuda. And so Baruch Hashem, we're doing great. Yesh yad l'tzedakah, ein yad l'tzedakah. Says the Gemara. Is there a din of yad l'tzedakah or in yad l'tzedakah? Right. Hechidami. What exactly is the case? Ilema da amar hadein zuz l'tzedakah. This zuz should be for tzedakah. But hadein nami, and this as well. And you said, and you said the key word also nami also. Ahut tzedakah atzmi. That's not a yad. That's it. Does right? That is tzedakah, like we said, kedushin, right? You gave two prutas to a woman. One, you get hayam kedushin li nami. We said that's kedushin ma'alya. So who are they? This would be tzedakah ma'alya. El kigoin the amar hadein v'loy amar nami. You said this also, but you didn't say the word nami. My hadein nami tzedakah kamar. This should also be tzedakah. Aydilma mava hadein then afkusa ba'al makamar v'dibur hu loy aski. You didn't finish saying his words. In other words, it's just the Rashi. Look at the Mefarish. She's the only one who explains it. Top line. Mefarish is Rashi, guys. When you say the word Mefarish, it means Rashi. So nafkusa ba'alma klaimar V'hadein zuz achal havi liloitza. One zuz is for tzedakah, one zuz is for tzedakah, and another one would be loitza for expenses. V'diburu hu delayaske, meaning delayagama diburu the amar alive enough to say. No, he just didn't finish it. He cut short his words. So do we say yesh yad tzedakah and he meant this other zuz to be tzedakah, or no? He just stopped short. It completely complete his words, but it's just for expenses. But it's not what for tzedakah. What's the tzad that is shaila, guys? Mi amin kiban the iskish lekabanos. Do we say since it's mukish lekabanos dichsiv beficha zut tzedakah? So here's another pasuk. There's another pasuk, guys. Moitzis v'secha tishmar. The words of your mouth you should listen to. Yasisa kashen edarta. You should do like you made it in neder. Lashem lokech v'nedava asher dibarta beficha. So now you have again another pasuk. You have moitzis v'secha tishmar yasisa kashen edarta. What's that speaking about? What neder did you make to bring a carbon? And then at the end of the pasuk says beficha, and beficha is ut tzedakah. So again, just as we had the shaila by Peah, so we have the same shaila by tzedakah. Do we make the hekesh to kabbanis the whole way, or no? Do we not? So zu tzedakah ma kabbanis yesh l'cha yad av tzedakah yesh nam yad aydilma lebal ta'achahu de iskish. It's mukish lebal ta'acher. All right, okay, it's mukish lebal ta'acher. Okay, go back to Vav Amid Beis, guys. Let's go back to the Ran in Vav Amid Beis. It says yesh l'cha tzedakah and yesh yad tzedakah and yad lad tzedakah. The Ran is about 5 lines off from the bottom. Pirish. Im tim sulaimar. The yeshad lepeya. Kivin the chamiri. The bal karche chayve rachmana. The ikapeya. The tzedakah mai. In other words, by peya you have no choice. By tzedakah you have a choice. You have a field. Pay. You have to give pay. Tzedakah is your choice. Kach pirshu rabbi sai. V'lay nerali. Says the Ramban. Says the Ran. I disagree. The hab the ikat tzedakah nami bal karche mechayev. The ikat tzedakah also yechayev, right? The chitema loy mechayev b'kula pay nami loy mechayev ela b'sayra. Well, loy b'sad the kula. You only have to give out a certain amount, not the whole field. The kach nira the hani tarti boy lav bahade itmai. Guys, they're not dependent on the other. Not intim saloima by paya. Then you can go ahead and have a shayla by tzedakah. They're independent, not interdependent. They're independent of each other. It's not shaykh im tim sulaima klal. So what do we say? Do we say that what it's a hekesh or not? Continues the Ran. Even though it seems to be a yad machiach when you said va'at and vizu v'chi kamar v'hadein l'tzedakah kamar dilma ein yad klal v'afilu machiach. In other words, if you say this, you say this is tzedakah and this. Says the Ran, that's the yad machiach. What else is it? This and this. So it goes. So Ran is learning that not pshat a yad she'ein machiach and it's nichnas machloks the baya v'rava. He's saying there is no yad by tzedakah b'chlal, like by kedushim. What was the shaila? Is there a yad or not a yad? So here also, is there a yad or not a yad? Not pshat whether it's yad machiach or not. Whether there's din of yad this at all, that's the way he's learning. Dilma says the Ran ki iskish the bal ta'achahu de iskish. V'lo yaminon, guys, this is important. This is what I spoke out. V'lo yaminon ein hekesh lemechza. It's tzedakah nami like a siva behedya. Tzedakah does what? It's not the ficha to tzedakah is the same way. Mein machza leket shechrupeya, right? Umidrasha asya, and once it's a drasha, we don't say ein hekesh lemechza. Very, Baruch Hashem, spoke out everything nicely. Okay, back in the Gemara. So we had one shaila by peya, one shaila by tzedakah, now another shaila. Yesh yad lehefker. In other words, when you're being mafker something, is there a yad? Yesh yad lehefker. Dilma ein yad lehefker. Or maybe not. Maybe there's no yad lehefker. So it says the Mahainut tzedakah. Hefker is tzedakah. It's the same shaila. Why is a person mafker something? Pashtus to be available for anybody. Aniyim. Look at Taisvis. Look at Taisvis. Hefker hainut tzedakah. It's like a smorgasbord of Rishonim on the page. It's like schmack. So Hefker hainut tzedakah. The stam mafker b'shvil sheyisku ba'aniyim. Stam a person's mafker. For what purpose, fellas? That the aniyim should go ahead and get it. Umasik, and we conclude mikol makom hefker havi la'aniyim u'lashirim. It's for both. it's for both, right? So in other words, that's why it's a shaila. Because, but in other words, your kavana in being mafker could be that an ani should get it, but it's not limited, right? First come for a serve, right? First come for a serve. Okay, so now, Fred Gemara Kasha Hefka Hainat Tzedakah Imtim Salem Kama Imtim Salem Yesh Yad Tzedakah Dein Hekesh Lemechza. Very interesting. All of a sudden, Ein Hekesh Lemechza, right? You're going to say that. Right? Imtim Salem Ein Hekesh Lemechza Hefka Miyamin Hainat Tzedakah. Like Dil Meshani Tzedakah the Tzedakah Lechaz Yel Laniyim. I will have Bein Lani and Bein Lashim. That's why it's a good shaila. Good. So now one place that either. Boy Ravina. Yesh Yad LeBeis HaKisei Oiloi. Now, what is the shaila about this Beis HaKisei? Right? Whether there's a yad for a Beis Mordechai. Yesh Yad LeBeis HaKisei or Ein Yad LeBeis HaKisei. What does Taisva say? Hachinami. Loi misafkalei deraisa el chumra ba'alma midrabana misafkalei. Imechmiru le'inyan lesa kach le'dvar kriyashma. Kivin the Beis HaKisei she'omru she'en le'betzaya. In other words, we saw Masechta Brachis that only if there's tsaya there is the asa, but if it's designated as the Beis HaKisei, so the shayla is that you're going ahead as can your yad create an area of Beis HaKisei mafkimin and halacha derabbanan whether you could say kriyashma there or not. That's the no. There's nothing there. So now, but again, this is speaking about the yan and creating a Beis HaKisei. So Taisha just points out my nafkamina leaning to kriyashma. That would be the nafkamina.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying you're creating yad.
But you're designating through your voice. This area. Yeah, you're designating the area through your mouth as a Beis HaKisei, right? In other words, can designation take place? So boy Ravina. Yesh yad lebeis hakisei. Is there a yad vad lebeis hakisei? Right? Or not? Or there isn't a yad lebeis hakisei. Hechidami. Ile medama hadein beisa lahave beis hakisei. This house should be a beis hakisei. But hadein nami. So just as we said all along, let's say the word nami. Ahu beis hakisei nami have right? I don't know what to say. Beis hakisei ma'al you have it. So in other words, the guys, the act of kedushin and the act of tzedakah is different between those are different than a designation of Beis HaKisei. You don't see Beis HaKisei ma'aliyah, right? It's not a mitzvah; it's a Beis HaKisei. El going to Omar b'hadein and v'lo yomar nami. Mai hadein the Omar b'hadein nami Beis HaKisei. Dilma mai b'hadein the tashmisha b'alma kamar that people could use it. Now nechal de pshita leila ravina the yesh zimun leBeis HaKisei. Now we have a shiloh throughout Shas, guys. Whether hasmona milsi, you go ahead. You buy a bag. You buy a bag, and you never used it for anything, right? You could use it for anything. You buy a bag, you put your tefillin in it. That's it. Now you've designated it right for tefillin. That's when you actually used it. The shiloh arises where it's designated for something, right? If designation alone will create it, or you'd have to use it. So let's say you buy a tefillin bag, right? You never used it before. It's designated as a tefillin bag. It says tefillin, it says your name on it. Nice leather bags they have this man as if you can afford that stuff. Some of those look like cow hides if you're nuts enough to get that. So all these cases, that's hasmana. If hasmana milsahi, you would not be able to use it for anything else. If hasmana lav milsahi, you would. So now Ravina is taken for granted by a yad, guys. You didn't use it again. There's no tsaya there. It wasn't used. You simply did what? Designated it. Question. Ravina is taken for granted that it works. And the whole shiloh is whether it's a yad or not, but he takes for granted it works. Says the Gemara. So we want to know. So Mechal de Pshita Ravina, the Yesh Sima, the Beis HaKisei. V'hami boile Ravina. It's a shiloh. His mino Beis HaKisei mahu. His mino Beis HaMerchas mahu. You designate something for Beis HaKisei, Beis HaMerchas. Then the Dvar Kedusha saying Kriyashma. Or coming down answer to fill in. Zimun moil, or ain't zimun moil. Okay, so in other words, the Gemara is asking a shiloh, what's the shiloh of yesh yad or not? It's a bigger shiloh. Is there before the yad? So the same lashon. Chadamiga yichad kami boile. Zimun moil ain't zimun moil. Does zimun help, but zimun does not help? And imtim solayma yesh zimun. And if you say zimun does help, yesh yad or ain't yad. It says the Gemara ti boile. So look at Taisus. This is fascinating, guys. Tiboyle. You see Taisus, a little one? Tiboylecha. Guys, you see it? Pirish, Kamoteku. The Lashon Nedarim Mishana. Now, the second time we have the example of Lashon Nedarim being Mishana, the Rush brought it when we said that Yadois Inshi, the Maida Kashmai, right? In other words, we usually say Teku, fellas. Tishbi, Yitaritz, Kushas, Rabayis. That's usually Teku. So but no, Tiboylach, it's a Shaila. Meaning, this is the Lashon, another example of the Lashon of Nedarim being different than other Masechtas and Bavli. It's very, very, very strange. Different than other Masechtas and Bavli. Guys, you good? So we finished the Sugya Yadais. It's very, very nice. Okay, Baruch Hashem. Rolling right along. Let's go back to the Mishnah. It was the final dinner in the Mishnah. So we saw Mujrani Mimcha vowed from you, Mifrashani Mimcha separate from you, Merachak Mimcha distance from you. What? Shani Ocha Shani Toyim was going back on those two. Good? That's Yadais. What about Menuda Anilacha? Menuda. You say the Lashon of Menuda. Now, if it's a Lashon of Cherim, it's not a neder, guys. If it's a Lashon of distancing yourself from, it is a neder. If it's a Lashon of Cherim, then it's not a neder. It's not a neder. So the Shailer is Menuda, and it says Rabbi Akiva, Rabbi Akiva was choichich. He was like skeptical, but he had no choice but to say that you would be you'll be us. It'll be a good neder. Okay, so here with Sugya tonight, the remaining time we have to the Daf is going to discuss the Shita of Rabbi Akiva. Now, what is the Shaila Rabbi Akiva? Let's a little foreshadow over here. Let's see the Lashon of the Ran, where the Ran brings in what the Shaila is. He brings in the Derech Agav. Do you see the Ran, guys? Go up from the bottom. The Ran says, "B'may pligi b'menuda anilacha." Go. It's about 12, 14 lines up. My pligi menuda anilacha. Kloimar. Guys, you got it? The Ran. No, it's in addition to menuda, you say shani oichel. The high lishna in the menuda, mashma hachi umashma hachi. The lashon of menuda can be the lashon of cherim or the lashon of distancing. Rabbi Akiva Sava lishna dinidunyahi. It's a lishna of nidunya, which is lashon of distancing and distance from you, meaning it's a lashon of isser. Just like murachakni, before Rashni, Mujrani, you're distancing yourself from the person. Who adin menuda means you distance yourself from the person. Klema, sha'af hu loshin richok vehevdol. It's a loshin of distance and separation. Kimu frashani, murachakni, kidur kamina, like we have the Targum, v'hadova benidasa, usuavasa b'rechoika, that the distance of menida. Hilkach asa. For Rabban and Savri, no. Lishna deshamtahu, shaloshim reyadam, Loimru al nidui bilvad, that the lashon menuda is limited to what? To nidui, and therefore it would not be a lashon what of neder, and therefore they argue on Rabbi Akiva. So the crux of the sugya I'm going to see right now is, how do you view the word menuda? Do you view it as nedunin, which seems to be what? A problem, or lashon of nidui, which is not good? Those are two tzadim. Yeah, in other words, he's going to say that it's only he's choichach, I mean he's machmir, but not fully. In other words, he's unsure. He's not like this. He's unsure, and he goes a little bit in this direction, but he limits it. So we're going to see that if you over on it, chayiv malchus. He's limiting it. That's why he didn't lashon of mach. He didn't say asa. He didn't say it's mamish. He's choichach. He was like, okay, you're asking me, I'll be machmir. It's a funny lashon, and it really is. Okay, but that. Now you have the tzadim and the shaila. How do you view the lashon of nida? We'll see the Gemara now. It'll go very, very geshmir. Says the Gemara the following: Menuda nilacha. Okay, Amar Abaya says Abaya. Moide Rabbi Akiva linyan malchus she'ena loika. Rabbi Akiva's moide linyan malchus that you're not going to get malchus. Choichich, you're not going to get malchus to this. Rabbi Akiva says he's machmir, but you're not going to get malchus. Dim Kane, it's because if you are going to get malchus, this was bothering Benji. Nisti Rabbi Akiva machmir. Rabbi Akiva was machmir that it's mamish wada neder, but mechaych means. Amra Papa says Rav Papa the explanation. Bindina, I'm detached from. Bindina minach, I'm detached from you. The kuliyam le pligi. Machloikis guys, Ran and Toisvis, where they have to add shani oichalacha shani toyim lacha, like Toisvis, not like Ran. Yes, good. So in other words, you're adding on to the words Nedinya minach masha oichel masha b'tayim. Kuliamle pligi de aser. Everyone, even the chachamim in the Mishnah would say it's a neder. It would say it's a neder. The aser would be aser. Mishamtana minach, put you in chayrim. The kuliyam shari. Everyone would say what? It is mutter. There is no shaila whatsoever. Right? Let's see Taisus, guys. The Taisus is very short. Nedina minach kuliyam le pligi de aser pirish. Misham the loshin nav and nadhu. It's a lashon of nav and nad. It says by Kayan. What was Kayan, guys? Nav and nad hiya ba'aretz. He's going to be a vagala. A vagala, right? Yeah, thank us, Yeshiva. Nav and nad hiya ba'aretz. Good. So now he's going to be a wanderer. Im kain moil shapir beloy shani oichelachad. It helps without even shani oichelachad. The shapa have yadayim achichos. Tvei mimidud raniimcha. In other words, this Taisa says is if you hold like Rabbi the lashon of Nedina detached from, it's even more. You don't have to say Shani Eichel because it's more of a yad. Okay, but everyone's made over there because lashon of Novinod. I'm getting away from you. What about lashon of Shamtana? Next Taisvis Mishamtana Kuli Amle Pligi the Shari. The lashon Klalahu. You're cursing. Kimo Mukolani Mimcha. And if you're going to say he's putting himself in need to distance himself for Amis, it's not Masmish. Good. So therefore, those are the two stadim. When in other words, you can look at the word menuda and you could look at it as nedina, or you could look at it as lashon of nidoy of shamta. Rabbi Akiva opted to look at his word as nedina. The Chachamim looked at it through the word as nidui. That was like what the Rami brought in the two stadim. So Ami Beis. So where's the machlokes? He pligi they might pligi when they argue Ami Beis. The menuda ani lecha. The Akiva Sava Lishna Dididunyahu. The Akiva says it's the lashon of Nidunya, and he said Nidunya means what? Nav and nad. I mean, I'm distancing myself from you. Rabbanan Savi no. Lishna the Shamtanahu. It's a lashon of Nidui. It's just a lashon of Chayrim. And Chayrim, even if it's Dal Ram, it's not going to be Asabahana. But that's the, in other words, beautifully explaining the klal. How do you view the word of Menuda? Do your word as Nidina, and that's the problem. What do you view as Nidui, and then it's not. Upligi Rav Chisda. And this opinion, and this, the way we just learned the Gemara, the Rav Papa learned the Gemara, argues on Rav Chisda. Because guys, according to Rav Papa, everyone agrees by lashon of Shamta that Nidui is not a neder, right? Everyone says Shamta is not a neder. So that would argue in Rav Chisda. Now who gathered was this individual? The Amma who said, Mishamtana ben Chasei, the Bray the Rav Yirmiyah bar Abba. I am Meshumit from the Nechasim of the son of Rav Yirmiyah bar Abba. Asking Rav Chisda Amalei, lest the Chashlei lahad the Rav Akiva, right? There's no one considers Rav Akiva at all. Because Kesava b'Shamtana pligi. Those machloikas is b'Shamtana. That so you see that what that lashon of we're not chayish Rabbi Akiva, but the lashon of Shamtana we would be chayish. The lashon of Shamtana we would be chayish. So you see Rav Chisda says Reb Papa said everyone agrees what by nidoy, and you're saying no, not everyone agrees by nidoy. Not everyone agrees by nidoy. So he holds Rabbi Akiva's arguing the lashon of nidoy. So therefore he disagrees with Rabbi. He disagrees with what Rabbi Papa. Okay, so now since we brought in nidoy, the Gemara is going to digress and discuss nidoy. This is what we're going to digress, and the Gemara is not closed. And the Gemara is going to discuss nidoy. It is closed. Huh? No, it's a guy learning with a kid. It's a guy I know that's learning with a kid. It's a guy I'm going to call after share. Explain it to him. Okay, anyway. Rabbi Loi, Rav, says Rabbi Loi named Rav. Neither b'fanav, if you excommunicate a person in front of him, ein matirin ela b'fanav, only in front of him. Nidu shaloi b'fanav, matirin loy bein b'fanav bein shaloi b'fanav. Let's see the Ran. Nidu b'fanav ein matirin loy el b'fanav. He's going to bring in. Okay, let's skip the next line. V'loy nehira, the time of the milsa, second line down. Mishum chashada. The matirin loy shaloi b'fanav. Let's say, guys, you put a nidu in front of him, and then you take it off shaloi b'fanav. Pamim sheyati ruhu, v'amenuda, and the person who put him in nidu lo yada. Of course, you did a shaloi b'fanav. And when he's not knowing nidu, yavel chashada that he's not keeping the nidu, not knowing that it was taken off. Because if you could take it off shlei b'fanav, then there's no chashad. Shafu sava, because what does he say? Shemi tiru shlei b'fanav. Kashem shnei du shlei b'fanav. Just like they put him in nidu shlei b'fanav, they let him out shlei b'fanav. So therefore, if you put him in b'fanav, guys, what's going to happen? You go ahead and put him in nidu. Then shlei b'fanav, what? You let him off the hook. The person's going to say, look, he's not knowing the nidui. Mashen can, if you do it shlei b'fanav, right? Then you see him. You'll say, well, just like you put him in either shlei b'fanav, you can let him off shlei b'fanav. Again, this is they know that, but again, the question is the person, the one menuda, the one who put him in, right? That's that one child, that person. Now, Amr Rav Chanan, Amr Rav Rav. Hashemeya haskaras Hashem mipi chaveira. If somebody hears the Hashem's name said in vain, you got to put him chayrim. And if you don't put him chayrim, who atzma yehi benidoy? He himself what should be benidoy? Who atzma yehi benidoy? Shekol makom shakaras Hashem mitzuya sham aniyas mitzuya. Any place there's hakaras Hashem is mentioned, aniyas is mentioned. Aniyas kamisa, and aniyas is like death. Shnemar. Mesu kol anoshim. Everyone knows this, right? Moshe Kadosh Baruch Hu does Moshe Rabbeinu. We go back to Mitzrayim because Mesu kol anoshim. Anybody wanted to kill you is showing tight, right? Yeah, that's not said in the Torah. Open it. The Tanya kol machim shnasacham einayim oy misa oy oynei. So this is a very famous piece. Let's see around over here. What happened over here? Moshe Rabbeinu is in Mitzrayim. He kills the Mitzri, right? He kills the Mitzri who was Boyal Shlomit, right? That kills him. Nadav Avihu witnessed this. They go and they tell Paro. Moshe now is a fugitive. Moshe runs to Midian. Because Baruch Hu comes and tells Moshe, right? This is sneh, tells him unbelievable things. And he says, guess what? The people that what? You don't have to worry, they're dead. You don't have to worry, they're dead. Okay, now, why are they dead? Let's see. Now it said, says the Ran, they're not dead, as we'll see with Rabbi Eliezer. The Mahavi, they were alive. The Cholmakim Shnemar Nitzim and itself, anytime they say fighters, who's fighting, who's causing strife? It's Dasan Laviram. The Inu Havi Machloike Shel Kairach, and they not Dasan Vaviram, they were part of what of the Kairach's rebellion. Ella, why they considered dead? Nefnei Sha'anu, because they got poverty stricken. Amar Kimesu. Now, the Afagav Daminan Hasam, the Arba Chashuvim Kimes, Ani Besum Mitzayra, Umishalim Banim. So Ron's asking a question, guys. Nesu Kal Anoshim, why do you opt for poverty? Maybe they have no children, maybe they're Mitzrayim, all right, or maybe they are blind. Right? Says so Hacha Vadai Manias coming. Here Vadai, this is fascinating ground, guys. Hadi Zicha only because of what? Because of poverty. Why do you know that? The Ein Loima Shenistanu, you can't say they became blind. The Kasiv Machluchaisa Shal Kairach, when they told them to come, you know what another view Dasan Vavirim said? Einei Anoshim Ahem Tinakru. Tinakru should be up, our eyes should be what? Not poked out. So if they were blind, so obviously they weren't blind. Good. The Nami Shayim Tzurayim, the Kasiv, the Kerev Kol Yisrael. When they sunk into the ground, where were they? Kerev Kol Yisrael. So obviously they weren't Tzurayim, right? The Lekal that they were Mitzrayim and Shenisrapu Man Torah. Yes, the guy, this kasha. Wow. Guys, maybe they were Mitzrayim, and maybe by Man Torah they got better. You're all the kasha, right? Can't say that. Listen to this. I didn't know this. The Amrina Shechazu Lemumin B'Maisa Egel.
Wow, they came back.
You heard that? You knew that, right? Came back as a medrash. They came back. If you were Maisa Egel, whatever, came back. So therefore, obviously, the Egel took place for Kairach, then it would have came back. Fascinating run. So now, so what do you ascertain? Blind they weren't. Good. Mitzaram they weren't. What do you say? They didn't have any kids? Says the Gemara. Because they didn't have kids, you tell go back to Mitzrayim. In other words, would that stop them from going to be Malshim because they had no kids? In other words, obviously it must be that they couldn't get access to Paro for a reason because he mesu. It has to be Anias because it can't be a blind because they weren't. It can't be Mitzrayim because they weren't proven. It can't be because they didn't have any kids because that's not an impediment. If they're Aniyim, they're not Choshev anymore. They don't have Paro there anymore. They're low lives because they're considered lower because they have the money. That would explain things. But to say they don't have kids, so okay, guys, fascinating. Okay, now this I sent out today a Meshech Chochma because fear oyster Meshech. Let me set you up. Kadosh Baruch Hu goes ahead and he promises Avram Avinu, right? And what's going to happen? Good. This week, what? This week's parsha. Perek Tesvav. This week's parsha. Good. Bris Me'an B'Sarim. Mamish, unbelievable. Who is going to do this? One person. Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu is appointed by the Rabbi Shalom, comes to the snare, he tells him, go down and everything, right? And what does he say? Don't worry. Ki Mesa Kol Anoshim. And what happens if Dasim Vavir were wealthy and they weren't dead? That's going to stop Moshe Rabbeinu from being goyal then? God's Klal Yisrael, the Avtachat Avram Avinu is contingent upon this. And what does HaKadosh Baruch Hu say? You know what? You can go. Because you don't have to worry. Mashma, if what? If they weren't dead, you'd have to worry. You hear the diak. Meshech Chachma, guys. Look at Meshech Chachma. Labrios. Says Amei Simcha. Muchach in Hoya Chaim, if they were alive, Dasan Vavion would consider alive. Hamavakshin Esnavshoy. Well, here it's Sarich Leilech Lahitzi Ben Yisom Mitzrayim. He wouldn't have to go. Afal Pi Shekol Yisrael Tzrichim Elov. Even though all the Klal Yisrael needed him, ain't it Sarich Lahachnis Atzim B'Sakana. You don't have to put yourself in sakana. He does more, guys. And this is how Rabbi knew in the Mishnah in Makis, Perik Beis. If someone goes to Golus, mitzvah. You can't go out for Edis mitzvah. V'loy le'edis mamin. V'loy le'edis nefashos. V'afil Yisrael tzrichim loy. V'afil sar tzava Yisrael kiyayiv ben Seruya. Ein yoytzim misham la'olam. Shnemar nos shama sham tiyeh di rasai. Sham tiyeh di rasai. Yeah, guys, listen to this. Klal Yisrael is going to war. It's a mamish Mishnah. Klal Yisrael is going to war. The quintessential general of Klal Yisrael is David's general Yoav ben Seruya. In order to strategize and win the battle, you need Yoav ben Seruya. Abba Yoav eshteitar nari mikla. He can't go out. Why? Because there's a Goyal Adam out there who possibly could kill him. All the Klal Yisrael need him to lead them in military battle. It doesn't make a difference. Where did Rebbe know this from? Says Rabbi Simcha Mosle Kidvash. He knows it from Dasan Vaviram from Moshe Rabbeinu. Since Moshe went ahead and told Moshe, Ki Mesu Kol Anoshim, all the people that were Mavakish your life are still all dead. Right? Because without that, Moshe would not be Mechayit from himself Sakana. And that's how Rabbeinu HaKadosh, Rebbe knew in the Mishnah that a person who is in Ari Miklat is a general to save Klal Yisrael is not Mechayit from himself Sakana. This is the source.
Hashem comes from the tells Moshe Rabbeinu, how you can say no to him? What do you need to buy it from Das Havim? Because the Kodesh Baruch Hu said, go save Paisol.
He didn't say that.
He said that doesn't mean to die. So I mean, the fact that he said that doesn't mean the diak is.
That's what I'm saying. You're a Rabbi Shalom. I can watch. You're the Rabbi Shalom. I can watch you. Go save Klal Yisrael. He didn't say that. The fact that he said the diak is unbelievable. Yankel, you hit a diak. Without this, you wouldn't go. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's fabulous. It's a fabulous Meshach. Yeah, Baruch Hashem. Nice limud. Okay. Anyway. Rav Abba, I became the Kamei de Rav Huna. Shama lahach isasa. I heard this woman. The Afka Haskar Hashem Levatala. She mentioned the Shem Hashem Levatala. Shamta. So what happened? Put him in Chayrim. Funa put him in Chayrim. Visharila, imated alalt immediately, bap in front of her. Shmami the class. Shmamina Hashemir Haskar Hashem Pi Chaver with Self and Baisla. You have to put in Nidoy. Shmamina Nidu in front of a material layel b'front of because he did in front of her. Shmamina ain bein Nidu lafara like klum. You don't have to wait. You can take it. You can put him chayrim. The mitzvah is to put him in chayrim, but you don't have to stay in chayrim. You can do it immediately. No, there's a halacha. Do it halacha, and then boom, right there you go. I'm Rav Gil Amarav. Talmud chacham minada la'atzma. You may for la'atzma. You can put himself in chayrim, take himself out of chayrim. Pshita, why not? Ma'od tema in chovish mata atzma v'esavsurim. A prisoner can't go ahead and take himself out of prison. Kavash malan. Hekidan. That's the case. He had the Mansutra Chasida of Rabbi Zuta the pious. He mechayev barbe Rav Shamta when this young Talmud chacham was mechayev chayrim. What would he do? Misham and nafsha bereisha. He first put himself in chayrim. He covered a Torah. He covered a Torah. He put himself in chayrim first. And then he went ahead and he put the Babe Rav in Chayrim. When he came home, Shari Nafshe first he mapped himself. But so you see a person right behind the Shari lay, and then he went his mata.
Yeah, the power to put someone else in Chayrim.
Of course.